We know that we're having a certain amount of insurance fraud through arson, and I think the economy is having a great deal to do with that. Some people feel like it's an easy way to make some money.
A white male, 28, 5'8", 160 pounds. Be advised at this time he has on blue jeans, no shoes, no shirt.
Put your head on that car.
What you put that cuff on so tight for, big boy?
Don't worry about it.
Get it off of there sometime.
Come on now. Go on, we'll take it off.
Breaking my wrist,
All we're trying to do is take it off.
Loosen it up.
Take it easy.
This guy was walking down the alley there, you know, and just about that time, he popped up out of dumpster, you know, and he seen him, and the police was standing right there, see. And when he hollered at the police, well, he went back down in the dumpsters, and I knew that was him, you know.
And then what happened?
Well, the police pulled up here and got him out of there and spread it him down on the ground.
Here's the one that's tied. We're trying to take it off of you.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
You got this other one cut completely off.
See you later.
Hey, Mike.
If they're coming to town, I'm leaving.
What are y'all up to, Bella? Think about what?
Coming back.
Well, it's exciting. I had to come back to see Senator Watson anyhow. Had to come back.
You quit building fence?
Right.
We're ready to get spin.
Aye.
Would I, Mr. President?
I sure appreciate that, John.
Cooties in my hair, but I got plenty for you and me both.
We have owned this place for 8 years, and we have slaughtered more
hogs in the last 6 months than we have ever slaughtered in that period of time.
For the consumer who can spend a 6-month meat budget at one time, the locker plant is the best buy. But for those who do not want all the cuts of pork, the weekly specials are a good bargain and will remain so through the early fall. Ken Root, News Center 4.
Throughout the afternoon, highway patrolmen provided tight security outside the fences. Inside, the Alfalfa County Sheriff's Department and the OSBI questioned 3 inmates about the murder. No arrests have been made so far. The body of 56-year-old Maxine Fullerton, a laundry room employee, was found shortly before 11 o'clock this morning.
The decedent suffered numerous stab wounds to the throat and upper chest area. She has been choked and severely beaten.
At this time, there is no indication Mrs. Fullerton had been sexually molested, but authorities do not dismiss that possibility. Earlier reports of rioting at the training school were false, but the inmates, classified as juvenile delinquents, are being kept in their dormitories while the investigation continues. The Alfalfa County School is operated by the State Department of Human Services. Paul Pariso, News Center 4.
Just sit right on top of you.
Helping to
have any ideas what we could do about it? Not be a good solution because he thought that if we did that.
he said we'd receive these people with open arms and open hearts. I think I'm quoting him accurately. And Castro, who's nobody's fool, decided if we're so eager for people from Cuba, he'd send us the ones he wanted to get rid of, and he's done that. Now we're going to have a very costly, time-consuming task of trying to screen these people and determining which are felons and which are the legitimate refugees, political refugees. I'm still in favor of providing sanctuary for the political refugees, but I'm certainly not supportive of any scheme that allows a foreign country to clean out its prisons or its mental hospitals and dump those people on us.
This is what the young fellow cannot understand after devoting full lifetime to it, and then when he comes up to this point, realize that he has wasted all these years, that he can no longer live on what he has been promised.
But as that retired list grows and continues to grow, the situation starts compounding very rapidly, and that's why we have to address it. As we have OET.
The Department of Public Safety retirement funds. We have been trying to work on those, but as of this point, we have nothing resolved that's going to solve the problem during this session.
Isn't it pathetic that you have to force people to do what is right? That's what I could never understand. That everyone knows that our pension isn't sufficient, but we can't get them to do anything about it.
Welcome, Allan. It's a real pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Allan Carr.
What's going on?
You've had all kinds of dance kinds of exciting in your previous film, Grease. And whereas Mr. Carr, June 9th at 8 p.m., Allan Carr, the studio hereby proclaimed June 9th, 1980, Can't Stop.
This is not the first time that we have gone into the stockyards. Wilson and Company, which we've made several calls out there. Over the last 20, 25 years, we've probably billed either this particular company or the other people in the stockyards many, many times, and they're well aware of it.
Oh, well, we've got the money to pay the bill, but I just believe that that's, they didn't put out the fire.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the building's gone. And certainly I know they expended their efforts, their equipment, their men, and $25,000 to $30,000 is indicated in the paper is a lot of money for a day's work.
How do we get it off?
Two pair of pliers. Got a pair of pliers. Pair of pliers, need a pair of pliers.
Oh, we can do that afterwards inside.
Yeah, we can get it after that.
All right, y'all go on. Up there, we need to check, okay?
we are surprised that these talks are not being conducted now. Nobody talks about human rights anymore, where, in fact, under 15 months of misrule of Khomeini in Iran, hundreds of thousands of people have been massacred, millions of people's property and assets have been confiscated illegally, families have been broken up, and there are more than 100,000 people in Iranian jails throughout the country. We wish to say now that we talk amongst us, Iranians. We want to know whether the cause of human rights had been served better under the regime of Khomeini or under the regime of the Shah. We do not condone the atrocities that have been committed during the Shah. But by the same token, we certainly condemn and do not tolerate the out of proportion atrocities that are being committed against the Iranian nation every day. We are saying that the American people are not told the true story of Iran. First, it is fair to say that by the accounts of independent groups of variety of sources, the British government and the United States government have been involved in pushing Khomeini into power in Iran. The questions have been risen in many circles about the validity or the credibility or the wisdom, in fact, of sending the deputy commander of NATO, General Heiser, to Iran to neutralize the Iranian generals and to allow Khomeini to come in to massacre our people. In fact, recently, one of the NBC
We get it out tonight. Now, he's got his own flyer.
You got both charges there?
unfortunate that a lot of people the people that have, I was here about 9. It's been very, very traumatic, and it's been a long 2 years, and I really welcome the pavement out there. But we had about 6 months where we had absolutely no access whatsoever. And one of the streets was broken down with a great big hole in the street, and it was just barricaded up and not fixed. And no one could get in at all. So being able to get them here and park and come in without having to walk 2 or 3 blocks is going to be almost unthinkable. So it's going to be great.
Get it? Yeah.
Okay. Got to lift Leon and
who's looking for Khomeini?
Yeah, that's like a people. They're gonna try to find out who he is.
Yeah. Sure.
That is my letter. From the beautiful Rocky Mountains of the Refuge down to...
Meal card number on the Air Force Form 1339. They're logged. Sign it. And then we'll get it approved from there.
Okay, so
Man, that's something. Yeah, that's approval. It's got a meal card.
read that.
Nowadays, for the young people coming in, it's pretty tough for them to make a go of it on airman basics or airman's pay. They have to get a part-time job to supplement their income, and you'll find a lot of military personnel, younger airmen, working downtown in department stores and gas stations and security jobs to supplement their income. My feelings are that when you enlist in the military, you should be making enough money to take care of yourself and your family.
The 42,000 gallons of diesel fuel from a ruptured Amoco pipeline leaked directly into this water, Buck Creek, just west of Bartlesville. At that point, the spill was concentrated and potentially dangerous. Normally, booms set up along the waters would have contained the spill to this area, but our heavy rains made the waters too high and forceful. The booms failed, and the spill ended up here, the Caney River, which feeds directly into the verdigris. So another boom was set up by the Corps of Engineers just southeast of this point. The officials told us the spill was trapped by the boom, at least 35% of it was, and did not enter the verdigris. And officials say the 65% that did pass into the Verdigris River has been so diluted by the rains it should not be a threat. They'll know for sure tomorrow when they run tests on the water.
There's two places we got attire. This is what.
At Clown College, they teach you everything you need to know in order to be a professional circus clown.
Slow motion.
That's the guy. See how you reacted? He got
He did the slow motion.
You ready?
Get a little more.
Okay.
Is that thing on?
It's good for about 350 meters.
Guard. Ho! Breathe and ho! Ho! Reunion. Signed.
We move on down, I would...
Most of them were regulars and were a disciplined group of men. And the civilians who went into prison camp with us took their cue from the example set by the Marines. I think that's the thing that helped us a great deal, was the fact that we did have discipline within our own ranks. And so the Japanese respected us.
I overlooked someone while...
Offenders, on the occasion of, in its defense, will not, cannot.
They help us each time. And
The movie that I saw was far from...
You have a card with us? Yeah. I don't get this.
you average anywhere between 15 to 20 bad checks a day, and that can average between $50 and $200 a check. When you're talking about that kind of dollars, it really hurts, hurts a businessman, especially an independent. Right now, it seems as though the times are getting a little harder, so checks are getting worse. You're finding more stolen and account closed checks, and with the law, the way it is right now, it's almost impossible to file charges.
Touch it. And the license? Okay, which one's selling?
8661. Yes, sir. You're welcome. Telecheck. Remember?
No, I might have to wait a few more minutes. About some more juice.
Would vary anywhere between 450 to 500 miles. Contact in 4 locations, in Broken Bow, Poto, I believe.
To keep in mind. So here you horse people can get an idea of where the various agencies felt that a dual-purpose trail was also possibilities. There were some during our last...
Hiking is, in popularity has increased. We're having 20 to 50% increases on our hiking trails. I think possibly due to just sort of the fad involved with hiking, which is a very good one, I think, and also the energy shortage possibly. Those two combined, we've really had an increase in overall hiking, and at least I know in the national park system.
She knows where all the patients that are coming in are going. Okay? Bye.
They get their education, and then possibly because of their family, they may not be working. So these kind of things can make a lot of difference as far as the nursing shortage is concerned. I know we've done surveys, and we do find that there are many RNs in the community that are not working.
There's just no excuse for the recent action by our Department of Agriculture in allowing American grain exporting firms to sell foreign grain to the Soviet Union, but not to allow American grain produced by American farmers to be sold in those markets. If we're going to abandon the embargo, then we ought to abandon it altogether and allow American farmers to participate in sales to those markets. This is a completely two-faced policy on the part of the administration, pretending to carry on the embargo, putting the burden on the backs of the American farmer, and then going around through the back door saying it's all right to sell foreign grain to the Soviet Union, and even allowing our own exporting companies to participate.
Can I get you to sign a petition that would allow Congressman John Anderson to be on the ballot here? It doesn't mean you support him, it just allows him to run for president in this state. L-A capital F?
F-L-O-R-E.
F-O-R-E. Is that correct the way I've got it?
Right.
Okay.
Gate 2 to your left is open also. Gate 2.
Yes, your full name, please. Your street address and the name of the city in this box. Be careful in this hot sun, but have a good time. Enjoy yourself, and thank you very much, sir. I certainly appreciate it.
We've been dealing with the fact that this state has been literally petitioned to death before we arrived here. The libertarians, the liquor by the drink people, and quite frankly, when you ask people to sign a petition, they think that they've signed a petition before, not knowing that it's for Anderson. That and the fact that we have had some problems getting into public places to petition. They've been freezing access, in many cases, to where we can go and what we can do.
Do you have any idea why?
Well, I think it's, again, because the libertarians and liquor by the drink people abuse the privilege in many cases.
Dave, there's some more completes for you.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
You're an advanced person, and currently really aren't from Europe or something. All right, we need bodies essentially to do petitioning and just work that you've done.
Now, right.
If you'd be interested in coming, or what, what your plans are, or what you'd like to do.
I think passage of time, some of us have let some of those teachers.
And it seems to me 3:30 in the afternoon somewhere along vacation.
Recently, I became president of the C.R. Anthony Company. The increased responsibilities and demands of this new job make it impossible for me to continue spending about 20 hours per week in trying to give service to the community as a city councilman. I regret leaving the council before my term of office has expired, but I have enjoyed my service on the council. It has been a great pleasure to work with many of the fine city employees.
This chart is measuring the amount of electricity at Oklahoma Gas and Electric Company. It has already reached a record of 77 million kilowatt hours in a 24-hour period. The company usually doesn't see that kind of usage until mid-July. But the company says it can handle the situation unless something catastrophic happens.
I'll be happy if they get it in, although I've used fans and I haven't been hot, but I could have stood my cooler.
That's good.
Must have to go back to the shop and load that. Come in, right?